Test. My name is Regina Robart, and I'll be your hostess this afternoon. Let's have a round of applause for the beautiful prelude music that was by Justin Langley. I see a lot of mothers here today, and most of us either have a mother or know a mother, and some of us would like to be a mother someday. So first, I'd like to speak to that last category. Here's a list of what you should know before you become a mother. It's called How to Prepare for Motherhood. Number 1, go to the grocery store. Arrange to have your salary paid directly to their head office. Number 2, find a couple who are already parents and lecture them about their methods of discipline, lack of patience, low tolerance levels, and how they have allowed their children to run wild. Suggest ways in which they might improve their child's sleeping habits, toilet training, table manners, and overall behavior. Enjoy it. It will be the last where you have all the answers. Number 3. Okay, I'll try to talk loud. Practice waking up every few hours and walking around the living room carrying a 10 to 15-pound bag of rice. Tune the radio to a loud static or other annoying noise. Sing songs and bounce continually while carrying the bag of rice and listening to the annoying noise. Set your alarm for 5 a.m. and get up, make breakfast, and keep this up for 5 years and look cheerful. Number 4, buy a live octopus and a string bag. Attempt to put the octopus into the string bag so that no arms hang out. Time allowed, 5 minutes. No problem. Number 5, forget the sports car, buy a practical minivan. Buy a chocolate ice cream cone and put it in the glove compartment and leave it there. Get a coin, insert it into the CD player. Take a box of chocolate cookies, mash them into the back seat. Then run a garden rake along both sides of the car. Number 6, go to the local grocery store. Take with you the nearest thing you can find to a preschool child. A fully grown goat is excellent. If you intend to have more than one child, take more than one goat. Buy your weekly groceries without letting the goats out of your sight. Pay for everything the goats eat or destroy, and until you can easily accomplish this, do not even contemplate having children. The composer of the band's first number, Edvard Grieg, is best known for his eternally popular piano concerto in A minor, as well as more than 150 songs and 66 lyric pieces. March of the Trolls is from his lyric pieces, Opus 54. Trolls are a constant theme in Norwegian folklore and can be viewed as the equivalent of our boogeyman. Far to the north in Norway, where the winter storms whip the weather-beaten coasts, you will find dark forests with moonlit lakes, deep fjords surrounded by mighty snow-capped mountains, and long rivers and cold streams cascading down the mountain sides. This is where you might find the irritable, short-tempered trolls coming out of their hiding places after sunset, marching to wreak havoc on unsuspecting Norwegian households. If you look out of the corners of your eyes, you just might see the trolls marching up and down the aisles next to you. Or maybe you'll see the goats that I mentioned in the advice for aspiring mothers. In her book, The Worth of a Woman's Words, Diana Boer says this: "Words can protect, promise, or punish, affirm, advise, or accuse. A few choice words can inspire a child to become a great preacher or writer, or discourage a budding talent. Words can restore relationships, heal frayed emotions, and even work miracles." That's the end of her quote. I'm so thankful that mothers are great at giving some of those words of encouragement. It's a challenge to all of us who are mothers to remember to do that too. The composer of our next piece wrote this about his piece: "While I in no way specifically intended to do so, I wound up writing about the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. In thinking about the work, it is not just about victims. Rather, it is about community. The music follows a single person coming outside the morning after such a catastrophic event. This person is portrayed by a single note, which opens the piece. Shortly thereafter, additional people begin to come out one by one, portrayed in the music. The cumulative effort becomes apparent rather quickly. While the single original note continues to sound, the power and combination of all the notes around it lift it up and make it glorious, clearly resulting in something that is greater than the sum of its parts. It is in this spirit that I offer, always, united, forever, strong. This piece is for all those who have come together in the past and continue to do so, for communities which support one another, and most importantly, for people who help pick each other up, lean on each other, and find a way to come out stronger than ever." saw a commercial that does a great job of portraying the mothers we all know and love.
Proud sponsor of moms.
Those get me every time. In this next number, David Holsinger, composer and conductor, shares this about the adventures of Kid Cam, the Rocket Man. Part of my life's journey as a composer has included the children's dances. And now, in the past several years, it has become rather necessary that I move on to the next generation. In 2005, I wrote Kaylin Dreaming for my first granddaughter. And now it's time for several more movements to be added to the grandkids suite. Niles and Lindsay's son, Cameron Rex, is all boy. He is the apple of his mother's eye and payback for his father. He is like every other youngster exploring the world, but his biggest obsession is anything that flies, be it airplane, helicopter, or superhero. So it seemed appropriate, at least at this juncture in life, to give the boy his own theme music. This piece is called The Adventures of Kid Cam, the Rocket Man. Bible relays to us the lives of a multitude of amazing people, among them, women who grappled with the issues of motherhood. Many of these individuals would have considered themselves failures as mothers, even as we sometimes do today. Yet God included their varied stories in the scriptures for several reasons, one of which I'm sure is to help us today to navigate our lives and stand with sure footing as we lead children, grandchildren, even others' children in our communities of caring down right paths. Through their struggles and triumphs, we can be encouraged and comforted as moms. This story from 1 Kings is of particular interest to me because it demonstrates a mother's love for her child. One day, 2 women brought a baby to King Solomon. Each woman said that the baby was her child. Solomon said, "Cut the baby in half and give half of the baby to each woman." "No," screamed the real mother, "give her the baby, do not kill him." Then Solomon knew who the real mother was because of the way she loved the baby. He gave the baby to its real mother. This next work, The Sweet from the Forgotten Realms, tells the tale of a fantasy adventuring party. The composer, our very own Joel Burrows, took inspiration on this piece from adventures he and his friends had in Dungeons and Dragons. The first movement is where the adventuring party first meets. Introducing you to the piece is the adventuring party's theme, a broad, triumphant motif that is throughout the suite, following the party on their adventures. These adventures lead the party to meet a unique race of red gnomes. The second movement describes these kabuki-clad gnomes called the kabukin and their encounter with the adventuring party. The final movement tells the tale of 2 armies who share very similar backgrounds. The Gith are a race of yellow humanoids who were once very united. Through millennia of slavery, this race became twisted and divided into 2 drastically different and warring races. Throughout this final movement, we'll share the experience of the war between the 2 factions and the adventuring party's attempt to end the bloodshed and bring peace to the Gith. Here's one of my favorite poems for Mother's Day. To one who bears the sweetest name and adds a luster to the same, who shares my joy, who cheers when sad, the greatest friend I've ever had. Long life to her, for there's no other to take the place of my dear mother. The next musical treat, Carnival in Sao Paulo, is one in a series of light encores that James Barnes has written. Carnival features a clever tune, solid scoring, interesting modulations, and Latin percussion. Carnival in Sao Paulo is dedicated to all the students in the Senzuku Gakuen Symphonic Wind Orchestra. If you feel like getting up and dancing, go ahead, but don't step on anyone's toes. Susanna Wesley experienced many hardships throughout her life. Her husband left her and the children for over a year because of a minor dispute. Susanna and Samuel Wesley had 19 children. 9 of her children died as infants. 4 of the children who died were twins. It was said about her, although she never preached a sermon or published a book or founded a church, she is known as the mother of Methodism. Why? Because 2 of her sons, John Wesley and Charles Wesley, applied the example and teachings and circumstances of their home life. This kind of strong example reminds me of a tree. Our next piece is about trees. The Redwoods was written in 1998. This work, inspired by the beauty, power, and majesty of the redwood, the most remarkable of trees, begins with a heroic, romantic trumpet melody accompanied by woodwind arpeggios, punctuated by brass rhythms. After a transition, the opening melody is followed by the rich, lush main theme, which is stated by the horns and woodwinds. After the main theme has undergone variations in orchestration, a new section follows, with the upper woodwinds playing in a second, delicately stated theme reminiscent of a music box. The new theme is heard once more, but played in a heroic manner by the trumpets and trombones, in juxtaposition to the original music box statement. The main theme recapitulates in a similar heroic manner, and as each theme returns, it is heard with a change of instrumentation and accompaniment. After the final thematic statement, a brass fanfare brings us to the end of the piece, which culminates in a grand climax. At this time, we'd like to make a few special presentations, so we will need audience participation, and we're going to need the lights. Isn't our tech and audio guy doing a great job back there? We have 4 young men up here with some flowers, and they're going to give them to someone. So the first bouquet is going to go to the most recent mom here today. So if you've had a baby in the last year, could you please stand? Is it just Mrs. Fairbanks? She gets the prize. Can you? I think so. So the next set of flowers goes to the young woman who has been a mom the longest. So this is really easy. Figure out how old your first child is, and that is the number you'll use. So if you've been a mom for 30 years, could you please stand? Wow, that's great. 40 years? 50 years? 55 years? 60? Wow. 65? We've still got a few standing. 67? 68? 69? I think we have a winner. How long?
How old is you? 70.
Wow, great. Our last set of flowers goes to the mom with the most children. So if you have raised them, you can claim them. Let's start with everybody stand who's had 3 kids. Four. There are a lot of 3s. 5. 6. 7. Okay, I think there's a tie for 6. Is that right?
1, 2, 3. Each had 6. All right, so we'll give 2 bouquets and we'll make another real quick.
Great.
We'll create another bouquet.
Thanks to all the moms for everything you have given to us as children.
All right, the band members who have moms are coming down. We're going to have a gift for you if you're here.
Motherhood, though at times an exhausting and seemingly thankless job, is indeed an honorable one, established and blessed by God Himself. True, the responsibilities are great, but the rewards are even greater, and at no time are we more conscious of those responsibilities and rewards than on Mother's Day. Whether our children are still little and offer their thanks with a hand-picked daisy and a glass of water, or an adult child who picks us up and takes us out for a special brunch or dinner, we are touched beyond words by the gesture. And we are reminded, even if for a brief time, of the awesome partnership we have with the very creator of the universe to raise up a child in the way he should go. Okay, the band's last piece is Pulse. It's a work for concert band that uses minimalistic and pointillistic writing to create tapestry of pulsing rhythms and colors. The work was inspired by the painting techniques of the pointillism movement during the Impressionistic art period and such artists as George Seurat, Charles Engrand, and others. The unrelenting rhythm depicts the constant sharp motions of the painter's brush, each note a point of color on the canvas. This one really takes off and will leave you on the edge of your seat and breathless. Well, at least the band members will be breathless and on the edge of their seats. We want to thank all of you for joining us for our 6th annual Mother's Day concert. Please join us for light refreshments in the lobby to the right as you exit, and we hope you have a safe ride home or to dinner, hint, hint, or to visit family. And don't forget to tell your mother, no matter where she is, thank you and that you love her.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.